What if I told you the Golden State Warriors could be on the verge of making one of the most unexpected and intriguing moves of the season? A move that nobody saw coming but could completely shake up their roster and future plans. And at the same time, there's growing concern around Stephen Curry. That has fans holding their breath, while Jimmy Butler is suddenly stepping into the spotlight in a way that's turning heads across the league. Because right now, things are getting intense, uncertain, and, honestly, a little dramatic in Warriors land. And if you're a true NBA fan, you're going to want to hear every detail of this. So let's break this down, because there's a lot happening all at once and every piece connects to a bigger picture. A picture that could define the Warriors' direction for the rest of the season and beyond. And it starts with the surprising name that's now being linked to Golden State, Kai Sotto. Yes, that Kai Sotto, the towering 7'3" Filipino big man who has been quietly working to carve out his place in professional basketball, and now reports and rumors are heating up, suggesting that the Warriors are seriously evaluating the possibility of bringing him in. And this isn't just a random idea being thrown around. There are real basketball reasons behind this potential move. The Warriors have been dealing with size issues for a while now, especially when facing teams with dominant big men. And while they've relied heavily on small ball lineups in the past with incredible success, the modern NBA is evolving again, and having a versatile big who can protect the rim, rebound, and potentially stretch the floor is becoming more valuable than ever. And that's where Kai Sotto enters the conversation. Because despite being relatively unproven at the highest level, his size alone makes him a unique asset, and if developed properly within a system like Golden State's, he could become something very interesting. Now, let's be real for a second. This wouldn't be a blockbuster signing that immediately turns the Warriors into title favorites overnight, but it's the kind of calculated low-risk, high-upside move that smart organizations explore all the time, especially when they're trying to stay competitive. While also thinking about the future, and the Warriors front office has never been afraid to think outside the box. We've seen that time and time again, and bringing in an international prospect with apt potential fits that pattern perfectly. But here's where things get even more interesting, because this potential move is happening in the middle of growing uncertainty surrounding Stephen Curry. And no, this isn't about him suddenly declining or anything like that. Curry is still one of the most dangerous players in the league, but there are concerns, whether it's minor injuries, workload management, or just the reality of him getting older, that are starting to creep into the conversation. And whenever there's even a hint of uncertainty around a player like Curry, it immediately raises questions about the team's stability and long-term outlook. And that's exactly why every move the Warriors make right now feels amplified, because they're not just building around a superstar in his prime anymore. They're navigating the later stages of an all-time great's career, trying to maximize their chances while they still can, and at the same time, preparing for what comes next. And that's not an easy balance to strike, not even for one of the smartest organizations in the league. And right in the middle of all this, we've got Jimmy Butler stepping up in a way that's impossible to ignore. Now you might be wondering how Butler fits into the Warriors' storyline, and that's where things get a little more layered, because while he's not on Golden State's roster, his performances and leadership are setting a tone across the league, especially when it comes to what it means to carry a team through adversity. And that contrast is becoming part of the conversation, because as Curry deals with uncertainty, players like Butler are reminding everyone what elite leadership looks like when everything is on the line. Butler has been playing with that signature intensity, that relentless drive that refuses to let his team fall apart. And it's the kind of presence that every contender wishes they had in moments of doubt. And when you look at the Warriors, you can't help but ask, who steps up if Curry isn't at 100%? Who becomes that emotional and competitive anchor? Because while they have talented players, leadership under pressure is a different kind of skill, and it's something that can't be faked or easily replaced. This is where the Warriors' situation becomes fascinating, because they're not just dealing with roster decisions, they're dealing with identity questions. Who are they right now? Are they still the same dynasty-driven team that dominated the league for years? Or are they transitioning into something new, something less defined, and moves like potentially signing Kai Sotto suggest that they're at least open to evolving, to experimenting, to finding new pieces that could shape their next chapter. And let's not overlook the global impact of a movie like this either, because Kai Sotto isn't just another player, he represents a massive fan base, particularly in the Philippines and across Asia, and bringing him into a high-profile franchise like Golden State could have ripple effects far beyond the court, increasing international attention, expanding the team's reach, and adding another layer of intrigue to an already fascinating organization. And while basketball decisions should always come first, the business side of the NBA is never far behind. At the same time, fans are divided. Some are excited about the potential of adding size and youth, while others are skeptical, questioning whether Sotto is truly ready for the NBA stage, and that skepticism is understandable, because the jump to the NBA is one of the toughest transitions in all of sports, and not every prospect, no matter how talented or physically gifted, is able to make that leap successfully. But that's also what makes these kinds of moves so intriguing: the uncertainty, the possibility, the chance that something unexpected could turn into something special. Meanwhile, the pressure on the Warriors continues to build. Every game matters. Every decision is scrutinized, and the margin for error feels smaller than ever, especially in a Western Conference that's as competitive as we've seen in years. And when you add in the questions surrounding Curry, the potential roster changes, and the broader narrative of the team's future, it creates a situation where anything can happen, and that unpredictability is what keeps fans locked in. And let's be honest, this is what makes the NBA so compelling. It's not just about what happens on the court. It's about the stories, the rumors, the what-ifs, the moments where a single decision can change everything. And right now, the Warriors are right in the middle of one of those moments. At crossroads, where they have to decide how they move forward, how they support their superstar, how they build their roster, and how they stay relevant in a league that never stops evolving. So as we watch this situation unfold, keep an eye on every update, every report, every hint of what might come next, because whether it's Kai Sotto potentially joining the team, Stephen Curry's status becoming clearer, or the broader influence of players like Jimmy Butler setting the standard for leadership, all of these elements are shaping a story that's far from over. And if there's one thing we know about the Warriors, it's that they're never boring, they're never predictable, and they always find a way to stay in the spotlight. And that brings us to you. What do you think about all of this? Do you believe signing Kai Sotto would be a smart move for the Warriors? Or is it too much of a gamble at this stage? Are you concerned about Stephen Curry's situation? And who do you think needs to step up the most if things get tough? And how do you feel about the way Jimmy Butler is setting the tone for leadership across the league right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is one of those conversations where my opinion matters and every perspective adds something new. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth NBA updates, rumors, and analysis delivered in a way that keeps you informed and entertained, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Because trust me, this story is still developing and you're going to want to stay ahead of it. And until next time, stay locked in, stay passionate, and keep watching the game we all love.